What's going on, folks? This is Dan French and Sound Off. It's been a while, right? I've had a lot of things going on, just different, really ventures that I've been checking into and being pulled in different areas. So I just want to put out a video here. It's been a little bit of time. Thought it's a good time to put out a video and talk about what's happening here in Las Vegas, also across the country, as I always do. Really about real estate and financing. Talk about what's happening with the Jackson Hole Symposium meeting that they had in Wyoming, and what Powell said and what the impact that will be. And also we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening with housing affordability and how that does impact what's happening with inflation and the cost of shelter. So before we get into this video, like I said, there's a very interesting article I want to talk about on this. But before we get into this, I want you guys to go check out LV Home Professionals. That's my website. If you guys are looking to buy a home, it's a great place to get started. Also, LV Home Crib Tours. LV Crib Tours is what it is. It's on my YouTube channel for real estate, and also we have the podcast, the French Workbench podcast, that's airing tonight. So if you guys are out there and you're looking at this video, maybe you guys tune in. It starts at 6 o'clock, so hopefully we see you guys out there or see you part of that show. So let's get into this article. The two things I want to address across the country is the cost of shelter and housing affordability, right? Inflation has it does play a big part into housing affordability. 1/3 of the economy, roughly, is what our GDP is, gross domestic product. So when you look at the cost of shelter and how that's gone up, and it's really challenging for a lot of American families out there to pay rent or pay a mortgage, you see a lot of people struggling. And so what can you do at the state level and the local level? Well, the state level, maybe the zoning changes, maybe there's more dense areas for affordable housing. Maybe you do more duplex, triplex, fourplex homes that really help out some of these families that need that assistance. So housing affordability is always going to be an issue as long as inflation is high. Now, we looked at the inflation numbers, and Powell came out and stated that, inflation has come down a bit, but it's definitely not where they want at that 2% range. So I look at this and say, well, what's going to help or what's going to impact that inflation number to come down? And when does housing affordability become not an issue, right? Because right now it's been an issue. I think it's been an issue for a couple years. So I'm looking at it going, well, the average cost for a household income is up $700 a month if you have a mortgage payment from a year-over-year, right, basis. And that's for a conventional loan. So you look at this 75 basis points, and are they going to raise it? And what is the impact? What is the impact that this is going to have on American families? Well, I feel that this meeting in September, they're probably going to put that on the table. The data in the next few weeks is going to tell us if they're going to do it or not. I feel that they are. I still feel that inflation has really stayed high, and people still are out there looking to buy homes. They're still out there, even though it's not as much, the old supply and demand. Obviously, there's more supply in the market now, but the demand is still there. And what's very interesting is we talked about you have double-digit increases in prices of homes still going up, where you're seeing prices continuously going up, even though that we see home sales down overall, significant numbers down. So I feel that when you look at this market, and if they're going to raise the Fed's fund rate, I feel like they're going to do that because they still don't have that target rate. And they felt maybe they had that lever out there that's like, hey, you know what? All we have to do is raise it 75 basis points twice. It'll even bring the housing demand down. And it has slowed the housing department or the housing, overall in not just in Las Vegas, but across the country. It slowed everything down with the rates higher. But still, people are out there buying. Now, I still have a lot of people that are looking to buy homes, but they're on the sidelines, some of them. They're waiting it out. But you still have people out there trying to buy a primary residence and or even a single-family residence, even considering the option of buying into an investment property. There's still some cash buyers out there. So this is all news that they're really thought that this would change the dynamic or the direction of inflation. And so what's the unfortunate part of this? Well, you're going to have casualties where people are going to lose their job. You're going to see the labor market soften, but it's a part of that casualty to get inflation. The bigger problems of the two is that it's inflation is the biggest problem they're looking at. It's not the labor market. So what's going to happen? You're going to see people get laid off. You're going to see that families and businesses are going to suffer a bit. Ultimately, though, that's going to be a necessity for them to get down to that 2% inflation rate, because still, whatever we're doing out there, yes, it's slowed the inflation down. It's slowed buyers down out there in the markets, but it's still not stopped altogether or brought inflation down from the shelter or the housing part of it, including the cost affordability or price stability. They still don't have that in check. So I think you're going to continue to see this happening into the fourth quarter here, and it's going to be interesting. I think they're going to raise the Fed's fund rate again in September, maybe the last time this year, just because I feel that they still need to really slow this economy a bit, and also in the housing sector. If you guys have any questions, reach out to me. Like I said, LV Home Professionals, that's my website. I'm Dan French. Check out LV Crib Tours. Check out my podcast tonight, and we'll see you guys at the next one.